All right, guys, we are back out on the beast. I read a lot of your comments in the last video. This was pretty obvious. I didn't even notice that. So we will cap this. The other thing you guys noticed was the choke and also putting the fuel in there. So we will try that. Also, hopefully the battery's charged up good. I am going to change the plugs, the wires, probably the distributor and the coil and all of that once we figure out that the engine is actually in decent shape. Hopefully it is. Also, I have a secret weapon up my sleeve if that carburetor's not working properly. This was a carburetor I picked up for the Dragon. The Dragon's engine, we are rebuilding it, but we're still waiting on some of the parts to come in for that. So while we're waiting on that, I can use this, possibly, not a big deal. Hopefully it'll fit on here, I'm not sure. And we're gonna have a lot of other issues to deal with. The radiator, probably the water pump. Most likely this engine is worn out, but it's possible that it was rebuilt, you know, at some point, and then they didn't put a lot of miles on it. Hopefully that would be awesome. Before we do anything, let's put a vacuum cap here. I think that's the only vacuum leak that I see. You know, this carburetor is probably all dried up and not functioning properly. So we're probably going to see our best result by changing it out. But before we do that, let's try and plug vacuum holes where we can see them. There's one here. There might be another one. I'm not sure where this one went, but maybe we'll just cap that. Somebody else had suggested putting fuel down this hose to give it a little bit of a start. So maybe I'll go ahead and fill this hose with fuel and see if that helps the old pump before I change it out. All right, I got a fire extinguisher here just in case. Hopefully this battery's better juiced up. Let's see what happens. All right, let's go ahead and cap the vacuum leak. Well, that fits pretty good. Not sure where this one was going, but let's cap it. It's all dry rotted. It's probably full of junk. A lot of guys have been asking about the Dragon. The Dragon will live again, guys. Trust me. I've got a bunch of parts on order. I want to see the Dragon come to life just as much as you guys. So believe me, I'm not giving up on the Dragon. Just sending some fuel down the fuel pump to see if it helps bring it back to life. That was one of you guys' suggestions, and I think it was a good idea. Oh yeah, look at that. It's actually pumping through. All right, yeah, so it did start. It actually started pushing through, and you can see that fuel's kind of dirty. There's a little bit of rust or something in there. Maybe that pump will work. We'll find out here in a second. All right, guys, I'm gonna hook up the battery, squirt a little fuel in there, and see what happens. Let's get some juice down in there. All right, you guys ready? All right. Oh, hey, it ran longer than it did last time. Woo! I think you guys are right. Try that again. I don't know if the pump was working or not. Oh, she's trying. Battery is just wow. Is the battery dying that quick? It's got some heat coming off of it. Wow. I don't understand why the batteries Man, this thing might be, something else might be going on. I don't know. Definitely seems tight, you know? Something feels tight. There's some junk coming out of the pump. I think the battery is just not live. I don't know, it seems like that fuel though. Alright, let's try something. Alright, it's popping off. I think the pump looks like it's working. So let's hook this up and see if it'll suck some into the carb. Let's get this out of here. You can see there's some dirt, rust and junk that came out of there. Thought that might be a good idea to let it flush it out first. I did buy a new pump. I didn't realize if you fill this hose, it's filling up right to the carb. So maybe it'll get some right into the bowl. And it'll run more than a couple seconds maybe. Let's try it. Smoky. Wow. Get some junk out of the tailpipe. A little bit. Whew, it's got an exhaust leak big time. It looked like the fuel pump was working. You see that? It's guzzling it. Wow, that sounded pretty cool. I'm gonna put some water in here because I know this thing is bone dry. It's probably gonna leak right out the bottom, but let's see what happens. All right, let's get some water in here. I'm gonna turn it on. Keep an eye on it for me. That'll work. It's leaking. Oh yeah. We got a leak. Oh man, the radiator's got a huge leak. Dang it. I saw that puncture wound in there. I figured it had a leak. Oh, it's huge. It's huge. Shoot. Dang it. All right, well, we're gonna need a radiator. That one has a huge hole in it. It almost looks like they stuck the hook on it when they were moving it. Tow chain hook. Let's see if we can get it to fire over once more. Let's jack that rear end up so this thing doesn't move. Let's see if we can get these tires off the ground. I think the tires are trying to move. Let me know if you see the wheels moving. I'm pretty sure they moved. It looks like they did. That's a little scary. Fuel pump's working and the carburetor is leaking. Yeah, the wheels were moving, weren't they? I saw them moving. All right, guys. Play around with this for a little bit longer here. Should start. Oh, it's getting flooded. Yeah, it's getting way too much fuel. Way too much fuel. It's flooded. It got way too much fuel. It's flooded. I disconnected the fuel, so whatever fuel's in there is just whatever's left over from it being flooded. It's a runner. It's a runner. All right, guys, it's a runner. It is a runner. Obviously, this carburetor needs to be rebuilt. We need a new radiator. We probably needs a complete overhaul. But it sounds, you know, the engine's solid as far as I can tell. Obviously, there's a huge exhaust leak. We're gonna need to have this carburetor rebuilt or order a kit and try to do it ourselves. But I need to get it off anyway. Let's get this carburetor off and maybe see if this will fit, just to try it. See what difference that makes as far as it running for a few more seconds. I don't want to let it run more than a few, 10, 15 seconds, because it'll get hot. It's got no water, and you don't want to, obviously don't want to run it without any water. So let's get this carb off, get the new one on, see what happens. I think I got everything off. Let's see. See if she comes off. There it is. It's leaking. Wow. Look at that. Look at this gasket they got on there. It's covering the holes part of the way. What the heck? I can't imagine it's supposed to be like that. It doesn't seem right. This one looks correct. Little spacer. The kit, the new carb should come with, and the kit should come with these, but try not to break it just in case, but it should come there. A little bit of rust in there, but that's normal, I think. I don't know what this is. Some kind of choke regulator. I guess that's what that is. It warms up in this, so that might have to be gone through. Anybody know how this works or what that's called? Let's see if the Edelbrock fits on there. It should have the same basic design, I think, as far as I can, from the research I've done. Let me get the fuel out of this. Stand by. All right, let's take a closer look at these. This, again, this carburetor I purchased for the Dragon. But if we end up rebuilding this engine, we'll get another one, I guess. Or we'll rebuild the original one. All right, well, the first thing I noticed is this has an electronic choke, and this is manual. I guess the biggest thing is going to be this spacing here. It looks pretty close. It looks like they've made it so that they can fit several different models, possibly. Let's see if these holes line up. Looks like they might line up. We'll take this over to the car and see. This is automatic choke. This is an electronic choke. This is manual. There's the vacuum, similar to this one. It's got these adjusting screws here. It's got a vacuum here and here. The throttle stuff might be different. We might have to borrow some of this. I'm not sure. It doesn't look like it has this part here. Let's see if it fits. Oh, there's a big threaded thing here. I don't know what that's for. Is that where the fuel goes? In the back? No, the fuel goes here. That looks the same. I didn't notice that on the back, the other one. I'm not sure what that is. The electric choke is in the way of the coil so far. So that coil's gonna have to move. Bump the coil out of the way. See if that helps. This car is supposed to have a manual choke. This has something to do with it, I guess. But I'm sure you could probably use electronic. But it is in the way here. It's really in the way. Is that gonna fit? I don't think it's gonna fit. Oh yeah, it does fit. Okay, but this thing is in the way. We gotta get that off. What is that, 1/2 inch? Nope. 7/8, 7/16. This has something to do with the choke, I guess. Little diaphragm or something that gets heated up, I guess. The engine, once the engine starts warming up, opens the choke, and voila. Let's see what's in here. Huh, yeah, that little thing just heats up. I'm gonna get it out of the way for now. All right, I'm gonna fill these holes here, blow all that out with air hose, and wire brush those bolts real quick. I think this is gonna work. All right, it should fit on there now. Let's try it. Do a quick test fit, then we'll, if it does fit, then we'll put the accelerator thing on there. Yeah, I think it's fitting. Just had to move the coil out of the way because this the electronic choke is further up on this, and we had to delete the electronic choke coil. And I'll probably just cap off these. So let's get that accelerator mechanism thing off the old one because we're going to need it here. Looks like somehow. Oh, is that hitting over there? Oh, that's not going to work. All right, guys. So here's what I'm noticing. And this is a 750 CFM. And the original one is probably more like a 500. I'm not sure exactly. If you guys know, comment below. But the throttle opening here, what do you call these? Butterfly. Anyway, these are bigger. So when they're opening, it's hitting the manifold, it's hitting the top of the intake manifold, and it's not allowing it to open. That's what it's hitting. So I'm assuming you would need a spacer, right, to get it up off the manifold a little bit. That's what I'm thinking. So I'll have to find a spacer. If you guys know, comment below. Can I use this 750 CFM to replace this original carb, which is probably a 500, I'm assuming? Here's the number. I haven't done any research on it. If you guys know, it's hard to see, but 4299S. This looks like a A7. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, it looks very, very similar. I'm assuming you could upgrade it to automatic choke if you wanted to, or would it be better just to leave it with manual? And what do we need to use this? So a spacer. All right, there's a couple things in the kit here. Let's see if they already figured this out for us. Maybe. There's some caps, vacuum caps, choke wire, filter holder. This looks like a plug for the back area. Yep. Just gonna plug that for now. I don't think we need that. Let me tighten that up. I don't think we need these. And we'll put a big one on there. So there's a little throttle linkage thing here. I'm not sure if that's going to work for us. Looks like it goes down here maybe. Or here. I don't think that's gonna work for us. Let me check. Yeah, we're gonna have to play around with it a little bit. Let's go ahead and put it on the car and see where things line up as far as the throttle linkage go. We might have to order some adapters. And again, this might not even work because the butterflies, I think is what these are called, are hitting the top of the manifold. So we obviously will need a spacer or a different carb. Not sure. I'm assuming if you get a spacer, you can use it. Obviously, you're dumping more fuel in there because it's a bigger carb. So everything down the line has to be adjusted for that. This is way too big probably for this engine, but I just wanted to see if it would fit. Obviously it fits, but it needs some modifications. So let's see what happens. Just remember, we still need to figure out the spacer issue. We're just kind of test fitting it right now. Let's see what other issues we're gonna have. What other issues are we gonna have here? This thing. Okay, this has to come up here. There's your throttle, which I think this has something to do with the transmission. I don't even know where that's going. All right, I'll have to do some research on that and figure out what that big rod with the spring on it. Looks like it goes down to the transmission maybe. The throttle cable is here, and that looks like we can connect it to one of these holes here. That shouldn't be a problem. Looks like it connects to that hole right there, and they give you this adapter, and I think that'll work. We might have to put a new clip on there or connect that to it underneath somehow. But I think that'll work, but we don't need that right now. We're not using the accelerator pedal, and we don't need the transmission hooked up. I just want to know if this carb's going to work, if it fits, and it looks like it's going to. I put that extra gasket on there. The only issue with that gasket is once we tighten it down, the butterflies might start hitting again. But right now they're free. I think we need a little spacer. Let's tighten it down. Get some fuel to it and see if this little baby will purr. I'm hoping it will. All right, guys, I got the old gas. I was using a 50-50 two-stroke mix. Now I'm just going to use regular gas. I think we got enough oil on the top end, and I'm pushing some fluid up to the carb here. It's going through the pump into the carb. So that should get us enough juice to get started, hopefully. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to let it run long if it runs at all. Because I can't even really give it much throttle. So I don't know what's going to happen. All right, where's the fire extinguisher? I got the fire extinguisher there. And got our starter here. Ooh. It might work. Well, it stayed running a little bit longer, I think. Let's see. I don't see any leaks. All the exhaust is coming out up here. Lights are on. Running. We don't want to get it too hot, guys. Woo! It's running better already. Yeah. Awesome. Gotta get that exhaust fixed. Holy cow. All right. Let me know what you guys think about that carburetor. What can we do to make it work correctly? That thing hurt. Oh my God. Whew. Okay. I don't know how hot that got. You know, how long can a car run without water before it gets too hot? I don't know. All right, I put a new vacuum hose on here. I don't know, I just had some laying around. I'm not sure if it's gonna make a difference, but let's give it one more go before we call it a day here. All right, let's see what happens. Man, that thing sounds pretty good. Wow. We gotta get that radiator fixed. That thing sounds awesome. I think that vacuum hose did help a little bit. I don't know if it helped the distributor when it was revving up. That thing's a beast. Wow. You ready to hear this beast run?
I'm ready.
All right. Hook up the coil wire. Sounds good, doesn't it?
I wonder how long it's been. For a long time.
And that's with jacked up wire, the oil, and all kinds of stuff.
Grab a hold of one of them plug wires and just don't.
Isn't that cool? Gotta get that radiator fixed. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize when I started it earlier, it was on the ground and the wheels started moving.
Oh my God,
And the
that's
wheels,
what it is.
the wheels chirped. And I was like, oh man, maybe I should lift it up.
Yeah, somebody's took off.
It went,
Oh my God.
I'm scared it out of me. I don't even think it's in gear. I mean,
it's in gear.
I guess it's in gear, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why they're turning. Damn.
That scared the crap out of me. I don't know if it's stuck or what.
That feels like torque.
Yeah, luckily it didn't. It had the other carb on it, so it didn't have any oomph.
It was pretty much jacked up off the wings off them anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, good.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
Could use a tune-up. but
Yeah, it needs a tune-up.
I don't see that happening anytime soon. It warms right up without any water in it, don't it?
Mm-hmm. How much you think one of those? You think they make a aftermarket new one?
Yeah, and you can get them redone.
It might be better just to get a new one. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right, one more time. It's been sitting for a while. Sounds good, doesn't it?
I wonder how long it took. It's been a long time.